of the pandemic, and we know that there is more to frontline medical workers that are doing their bit.
Right. And how did you guys so correct me if I'm wrong, but is there like a I know that there wasn't a fee like
Yes, it's
what is it
completely free to submit an entry. And it doesn't matter if your work has been published before, we accept them anyway. If your agency allows you, gives you permission to share it with us and be part of our collection. And we don't own the copyrights of them. You can definitely use it elsewhere to make a livelihood with those pictures and submit it elsewhere. We don't mind. So we only ask for permission to include your pictures in our marketing material that is promoting this project alone. It's not going to be used for commercial purposes. And yeah, it's completely free to join, and you stand a chance to win $100 cash prize if you're selected to be in the top 100. It's not much, but it's really a token of appreciation to say that we really appreciate you finding that story for us, and yeah, you are doing your part of discovering heroes among your community.
yeah. I like that a lot. Oh, that was basically where I was going to come to with the $100 extra thing because it isn't a lot, but the fact that you guys are still like just is just something that like you said, a token of appreciation and having people, it's something a little oomph for people to go out of their way to go ahead and submit that, even if
Yeah.
it's just something small.
Yeah, and we so far, even with the 200 submissions, which every submission is so precious to us, we are so grateful for the work that the photographers have put in, or will come forward to submit us a story. We really appreciate it, and we know it's not easy. That's why we also created, this is new, a new category. Because there were a lot of non-photographers who were really keen to be part of the project. They emailed us, they called us and say, how can we help? How can we be part of this? But we're not photographers. So we decided to create a public voting round. So we are gonna
Oh,
give out
okay.
an extra $500 cash prize. So those entries that has the highest votes will win $100 each. So there are 5 positions for that, and if they submit and finalize their entry by August 11th, so it gives us time to kind of process them, and it'll be ready for voting on August 14th. So you can go ahead and share it on your social media to pull votes, ask mom and dad to vote for you. Yeah, and just make sure you put out a good story, and you stand a chance to win.
Awesome. So August 11th would be the deadline for that.
Correct, correct.
Okay.
Correct.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
great.
and the
What
team is really dedicated in going through every story to see that, okay, the pictures are great, but the story is not really clear, it's not angled to the right way. We go to the extra mile to call, to email them like, hey, we want to help you to improve this entry so that you can impress the judges. We
nice.
want to help you to win. So a lot of them are really patient with us, and because not everybody speaks English, although we translated the pages to 5 different languages, there are a lot more languages that we couldn't cover, and because of our own limitations as well, we couldn't speak those languages. So it takes some
Yeah.
patience, and we are really grateful that the photographers are patient with us to sit through and answer questions to help us re-angle the story.
Is there a vetting process for some of the stories? Like maybe somebody's making something up, or has that ever happened where
No,
you guys
no.
come across? Okay.
Making stories up. We like to believe that everyone's entries are authentic.
Okay. Cool. I just wanted to make sure because some people do they do just about anything. But that's good. You guys do that extra mile to really help them, and 109. You said over 100 countries. I can
Yeah,
imagine how much work that is for what 6 people you said.
The ones that are really doing the vetting and editing is probably 3 people.
Oof, even worse.
Yeah, so that's why we have to tell everyone that yes, I know the deadline is tight, but I would rather set it a lot earlier to get you to put you in action,
Mm-hmm.
and then it gives us more room to vet, to improve, so we make sure the stories that goes out are quality, and it inspires more people when it gets launched.
That's awesome. Well, we're coming up towards the end of this segment here. We got a lot of information from you. What are some of the things that you'd like to see a little more of as far as participation, or what can people expect from the other 100 from from here on out through past the pandemic?
Um, what do I expect from this project, you mean, or the submissions? I think in terms of submissions, I like to encourage everyone to be more creative. Don't limit yourself to the stories that are just about delivery. Those are great, but that's pretty standard. So I'm just giving
Yeah.
you a tip here. If you want to stand out, look for something more special that people are being creative at. Those are the story that comes through to us and say, wow, I've never thought of that. This is the kind of service that you can do during a pandemic. So that's one.
Yeah.
Get more creative, and really look at the examples that I put up to show you what a good entry looks like. Those are good references that you can get inspired from. As for the project, what I hope to get from it is that maybe when things gets better, maybe we can have like an exhibition. We used to have a touring exhibition around the world when things were not affected by the coronavirus. So yeah, maybe when things get better, we can do an exhibition.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
One last thing that I do love about the other 100 is those stories. People's attention spans aren't very aren't very long anymore, especially in the age of technology when everything is instant. What I love about this project is that there's a few pictures that are, and I'm sure you guys pick out these pictures because of the way they're shot, because they are very eye grasping.
Yeah.
Um, and the stories themselves, they're not long. They're not extremely long and detailed. They're short, sweet, to the point. They get everything, all the information they're trying to convey across perfectly, so you can understand. Like, cool, I didn't have to spend all day reading pages and pages of the story, but I got it right here, and I can go to see who the next person is on that list.
Correct. This is, after all, a photo story competition. The star should still be the photographs themselves, and the text, the short paragraphs are just to give you a little bit of context.
So I love that. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing this with us. This is everything I love and encompass about the trying to share on this podcast once again. And if you could give people your information on where they can find you and where they can find these stories,
Sure.
I'll definitely share them and all that.
Sure. Everything, all the information you need is on theother100.com. Spell it out, theotherhundred.com. And yeah, so you can find examples, you can find the submission requirements, the deadlines, and if you have a question, you are not sure, you can also find us on Instagram. We are very, very active on Instagram, so our handle is theother100. We're on Facebook as well. So you can reach us through social media, or you can email me, jpng@global-inst.com. Yeah, and all the information are listed on the website if you need to find me.
Perfect. I will put all of that in the show notes as well. And yeah, once again, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing this
No
amazing story.
problem. I appreciate you responding to my call on Facebook earlier on. Yeah, it's been great speaking to you.
Yeah, no doubt. All right. Well, hopefully, everything goes back to normal soon, and maybe you guys do get that exhibition in the near future. And I'd love to have you on again and talk about all the stuff you guys are planning on doing and more.
No problem. No problem. Thank you so much
All
again.
right. Thank you. And that was it. I hope you enjoyed that podcast and got some really good information on where to find some more positive news. We touched a lot on some gems, and it's always refreshing knowing that there are people out there working to deliver this much needed positive news. I highly encourage you to check out the show notes where you can get all the information and maybe represent where you're from by submitting some cool pictures and stories to share with the world. As you heard in the podcast, the West and Europe in general is lacking a lot of these stories. So get them out there, put us on the map. And if you enjoyed this podcast, make sure to subscribe, follow, and leave a rating and a review on whatever platform you're listening on. Be sure to follow the social media pages on Instagram and Facebook at Limelight Highlight. The Twitter handle for Limelight Highlight is LL and if you want to shoot me an email, you can do so at limelighthhighlight@gmail.com. Got so many social media things I can't even keep up. Remember, next month, The Block Gives Back will be hosting their Block to School drive, August 22nd, right outside the Block shop, giving away 1,000 bags packed with school supplies. And be sure to donate and see how you can get involved by checking out the links provided in the show notes as well. As always, it's been a pleasure. Thank you guys for listening. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So, as always, be humble, be helpful, pay it forward, be the best you, and keep in mind, it ain't all bad. See y'all next time.